are people who love with a tenderness so instinctive it feels like breathing. Yet the moment that love begins to matter, something inside them retreats. Not because the feeling weakens, but because it strikes too close to the parts of them they've never learned to soothe. They don't step back out of indifference. They step back because the closeness touches an old wound they've spent their whole life pretending didn't exist. And the heart, even when it's trying to open, still remembers the places where opening once meant pain.
There is a specific kind of person who carries two opposing forces inside them: a longing that pulls them toward connection and a fear that pushes them away at the very same time. To the outside world, it looks like inconsistency, hot and cold, present and then suddenly gone. But inside, it feels like standing at the edge of something beautiful while remembering every time beauty has turned into loss. Their heart reaches forward before their mind can stop it, and then their mind pulls them back before their heart can breathe. It's not a flaw in their character, it's a conflict carved into their emotional wiring, wanting to be held, yet terrified of what being held might cost.
Some people learned early that emotions were not safe places to rest, but storms they had to survive. Love was never gentle. It came with conditions, with sudden shifts, with the constant fear that warmth could turn cold without warning. So their nervous system grew up preparing for impact. When they feel something deeply now, affection, admiration, intimacy, their body interprets it as the beginning of a familiar pattern: closeness, followed by hurt. What should feel nourishing instead feels dangerous. The very intensity that others interpret as connection becomes for them a signal to guard themselves, not because they don't want love, but because they've only ever known love as something that eventually burns. Before their thoughts can form into words, before they can reason with themselves, their body reacts. It's an old reflex, ancient, protective, almost automatic. When someone gets too close, something tightens inside them, as if their chest remembers a danger their mind has tried to forget. Their pulse shifts, their breathing changes, their instincts whisper, "Step back before you get hurt again." And so they do. They create space, not out of choice, but out of conditioning. Their distance is not rejection, it is self-preservation. The nervous system is simply trying to protect a version of them that once had no protection at all. There's always a turning point, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that most people never notice, but they feel it instantly. Maybe it's a look that lingers. Maybe it's a silence that holds more meaning than words. Maybe it's the quiet realization that someone genuinely sees them. Whatever the trigger, it awakens a trembling inside them, a sense that they're now standing on the edge of something vulnerable. This is the exact moment where affection becomes frightening. Not because the other person did anything wrong, but because being truly seen feels unfamiliar. It touches the parts they keep hidden, the softer corners they've protected for years. And so the closeness that others crave becomes, for them, the signal that it's time to retreat before they're seen too deeply, before they care too much, before the stakes become real. Pulling away is rarely conscious. It is a reflex encoded in the layers of their memory and emotion, a strategy their soul learned long before they could name it. Silence becomes a shield. Space becomes armor. Even when they craved closeness, their first response is to protect the fragile equilibrium they've built inside themselves. Disconnection is not cruelty, it is preservation. Each step back carries the weight of survival, a silent insistence that if they remain too close, they might drown in a flood of feeling they cannot yet navigate. And so they distance themselves quietly, carefully, almost invisibly, as though if they move slowly enough, the world will never notice the storm that rages inside. Every act of care, every gesture of attention can feel like a mirror reflecting their unhealed scars. Love is meant to soothe, but for them, it often awakens memories of being unseen, unheard, or abandoned. A compliment might echo with the weight of doubt. Will this fade? Will they leave? A touch might stir the ache of absence they learned to carry as a child. Their heart doesn't simply respond to the present, it reacts to a history written in invisible ink across their nervous system. What seems like overreaction or withdrawal is actually the resurrection of past wounds, a subconscious defense against reliving pain they never fully escaped. They desire intimacy as fiercely as they fear it. Their longing and their anxiety exist in a constant, intricate dance. One step toward closeness, two steps back. Every approach is measured, every gesture weighed against the invisible ledger of past betrayals, disappointments, and abandonments. Love excites and terrifies them simultaneously, stirring a tension that feels almost unbearable. To those who watch, it appears as inconsistency, indecision, or moodiness. But inside, it is a delicate negotiation between heart and instinct, the yearning to belong, clashing with the memory of how belonging once became a wound. They are both the seeker and the protector, a contradiction held in quiet tension. After they pull away, a quiet shame settles in, like dusk over a silent city. It creeps along their bones, whispering that they've failed, that they are too much or not enough, that their very nature is somehow flawed. They replay moments, analyzing words and gestures, searching for evidence of betrayal or weakness, even when none exists. Love, which they feel so deeply, becomes a source of self-reproach. The act of protecting themselves transforms into guilt, because while distance saves them from emotional overwhelm, it also reminds them that they cannot fully be the person they want to be, open, available, unafraid. And yet, the shame does not erase the depth of their feeling. It only shadows it, a quiet companion to the love they both crave and fear. To the outside world, they appear composed, independent, almost untouchable. Their laughter is measured, their response is careful, their presence calm. Few see the trembling beneath the surface, the constant calculations of how much closeness is safe, how much love is bearable. This mask of detachment is not coldness, it is strategy. It shields them from inquiry, from expectation, from the vulnerability that feels like risk. Behind the calm exterior, every interaction is a negotiation between desire and fear, openness and retreat. They move through the world as if untethered, yet every step carries the weight of a heart that has learned to protect itself before it can trust again. They are drawn, almost magnetically, to stability, to those who offer calm in ways they cannot yet trust, but secretly long for. The people they love are often steady, grounded, and emotionally consistent, embodying a safety they themselves have rarely felt. This attraction is paradoxical. The very steadiness that comforts them also terrifies them. To be near someone so unwavering exposes every tremor, every unresolved fear, every fragile corner they've spent a lifetime hiding. Yet they return again and again, drawn to the possibility of connection that doesn't demand retreat, yearning for a love that mirrors the depth they feel, but does not punish them for feeling it. Even when they pull away, even when distance stretches between them and the one they love, a quiet ache remains. It lingers in the chest, in the moments between thoughts, in the sighs they do not voice. This longing is not a call for immediate return, nor a plea for reassurance. It is the echo of a heart that remembers connection, that remembers warmth, that remembers the possibility of being fully seen. They carry it silently, a reminder of what they desire yet fear, a persistent hum beneath the surface of their guarded existence. No amount of retreat can erase it. It exists as a shadow, soft but unrelenting, of the love they cannot release. Change arrives quietly, almost imperceptibly. It begins with a moment of curiosity, a pause that allows them to notice that not every closeness ends in pain. Trust does not come all at once. It seeps in through repeated gestures of consistency, through environments where their vulnerability is met with patience, not judgment. Gradually, the walls they build for protection soften, not because the fear has vanished, but because the mind and heart sense that this space is not threatening. Every small step toward openness is tentative, deliberate, and deeply significant. It is the internal rhythm of a soul learning that closeness can coexist with safety, that intimacy does not always demand retreat. Beneath every withdrawal, every silence, every sudden step back, lies a truth few ever see. Their distance was never the absence of love. It was the presence of it, raw, unfiltered, overwhelming in its intensity. They pull away not because they do not care, but because caring so deeply carries a weight the world rarely allows them to bear. Their pattern is not cruelty or inconsistency. It is a testament to a heart that feels more than it can safely contain. And in the quiet moments, when the mask drops and the defenses ease, the love they hold is revealed. A love that endures, that aches, that waits, that hopes, that refuses to be anything less than fully human.